So today I'm joined by Sandra Woolven. I'm delighted to bring you to our Get a Life moment with myself, Lisa Davies. Sandra is a wonderful, amazing lady, and I just wanted to give her the opportunity to share with her, share with the audience what she is up to and an upcoming retreat. So welcome, Sandra.
Thank you.
So for those people who don't know you, who is Sandra and what are you about?
I'm really about living life, loving life, passion, purpose, lots of heart. I'm really loving people. And this morning, in fact, I was reading back like testimonials, actually like a visitor's book, all the people that we've hosted over the last few years. And that brought kind of tears really to see all the gratitude and to see all the changes that, their time with me, with us had actually brought to their lives. That was really quite exciting. So for me, that's what I guess I'm all about, like helping people to step out of their comfort zone and do something new, because I find things new really exciting and I just love leaping.
Yeah, taking that leap of faith. Well, that's interesting because knowing a little bit about the work that you've done, you said hosted people there. So explain a little bit about that and that how that has brought you to where you are now and what that might bring next.
Um, what it's done, I think, so we've hosted in the way that most of the people we've hosted up until at least COVID were, so they were foreign exchange students primarily and couch surfers. So people from all over the world. And actually, I said at the beginning in the early days when I started doing it, my children were maybe, they were little, they were kind of in their first years of life. And they're now coming up to 18 in a few weeks. So it's been a while. We've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And it what it was for me at the time was I used to call it my quota of international air, because I used to work in export. I used to be somebody with the travel bug, and I couldn't travel anymore, having young kids and being a single parent. And so actually bringing people from abroad into our house was kind of my way of getting that kind of contact with the international world. But it gave me so much more, because I realized that all the young people that we had who were kind of between 15 and 25 primarily, we had a few younger and a few older, but mostly that kind of age range, they they all had so much beauty, so much uniqueness, and they were also part of themselves that they weren't really completely owning, in touch with. And I have a gift for seeing those parts. So for me, it became kind of my little mission to create experiences, to have conversations with them that kind of unleashed that. It unleashed that like little part of themselves that they didn't know was there. They didn't, or they weren't, they were too scared to kind of step into. So I always say the people who leave our house, whether they've been here 2 weeks, 2 months, or a year, they leave different from how they arrived. And so yeah, that's what I found, and I found so much satisfaction in that. That
So you
was
get the joy of bringing the world to you.
yes,
Your travel, your need for travel and international interaction was met, but
yes.
in return, you shared the gift of unlocking people's potential, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Joyful work. So, how does that take you to where you are now and the projects that you are undertaking at this moment? So, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think first of all, it was the story of dance. When I kept hearing this song, "Dancing with Your Eyes Closed," which kind of like eventually I just thought, well, I've got to try this, since I keep getting this song. So I danced with my eyes closed. It connected me with myself in a way that I hadn't experienced before. It made me realize like that this was kind of my meditation. This was my way of really being connected to the different parts of me, the ones maybe that I wasn't hearing, and connecting to my emotions, and also working through those emotions on the dance floor while dancing. So and kind of ending up with that back in that place of joy and alignment. So that kind of gave me the idea of like the dance experiences where people come and they can, dance freely. There are no steps, nothing. It's just, and I think for me, because I'm all about joy and uplifting, I wanted it to be an uplifting experience because I'd gone to like five rhythm and open floor dance and things like that. But the music wasn't really always my music, and it could be
Yeah.
quite hard for me. So, I've created experiences where people can come and be themselves, dance however they want. They can sit and lie on the floor if they want to. They don't have to do anything. They can just watch other people too. And they can come and really just, find that place of uplifting, allow all of that, the worries and the burdens to kind of drain away and just get back to that place of, oh, I feel good by the time they leave. And that's what people have been experiencing. So that's been the first part of a really big project.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'm a dancer myself. As you know, I belly dance, sword dance. Absolutely love dancing. It takes me back to that childhood wonder, which is kind of what it feels like you're describing, that we our natural state is play and joy, and we get sort of weighed down by bills and issues in life and the electricity bill and getting the kids out to school, whatever it is. We have our own stuff that dulls down that sparkle. And just hearing you speak then, it's so passionate to hear you think it's about that space where you are held and you can just be. And I love the fact that you said you can just watch other people dance if you want to sit down, because that we've got the mirror neurons in the brain that we're enjoying that dance. It's like when people watch Strictly, it's just joyful, isn't it? So however you enjoy that interaction, whether it's, I think there's something about movement in your own body though, isn't there?
yes,
Shifts,
absolutely.
literally shifts things.
Yeah.
Having that movement in your own body, and obviously music, it touches the soul. We've always got a theme tune running in our life, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it kind of brings that to life. And yeah, to have experienced that and to leave change, to transform. It's quite, when you can dance so freely, it's quite a transformational experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then what does that lead on to around that? I know that you've been doing that dancing in the moonlight as well. So what's the link with the moon?
I think the link with the moon for me is this endless possibilities. It's the limitlessness that it's what I see in people. It's the endless potential and the kind of wanting to step into something more. And it's also kind of the sense of wonder where you don't know what might be. You don't know what is out there, but it's just taking that step, one step into something new, because when you do something new, then, you get out of that place of stuckness, you step into the unknown, and a whole load of things unfold from that. So it's, yeah, the moon, I guess for me, the light that it brings, the shine, it shines no matter what, it's also like really owning who you are and not allowing other people to kind of dull your shine. And I think that's also the idea of dancing in the moonlight, is that, it's you are who you are, you do what you do you, and that is fine. That is great. And it inspires others. It's that place of inspiration, really. And it's aspiration as well, to aspiring to something else.
Yeah, outside of yourself, something much like universal, galactic,
Yes,
even.
yes, bigger.
And I pick up on the word that you said, more. So what type of people are drawn to these sessions? Because I'm just picking up on that word more, and I think we spoke a little bit about this before we came on air.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really important to me. It kind of tends to appeal to both people who know what joy is, but sometimes just need a little refresher. So, and people who really already own who they are, and also people who just have this sense that there is more to life, there is more to them, there is something else that can be tapped into. They just, their life might be okay, but they just want a little bit more joy or a little bit more, fun or a little bit more connection, a little bit more whatever it is, but they just have this sense of, yeah, there's something more out there. And for me, that is really what Dance with Life is all about. Dancing with Life is really about always being willing to explore, to learn, to grow, to discover new things about yourself, about the world, about other people, to improve your relationship with them, and just, find your flow with it, really.
Love that, love that. So this is leading on to even bigger projects, isn't it? And I know that you've got a retreat coming up with your good friend Maddie. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the retreat is really that essence. It's that essence of, finding that place of alignment where you can really be you and you can really discover new parts of you. So, for us, creativity is a really big thing. Yes. And, I really hold that belief that everybody is creative. I've heard a lot of people tell me that they're not. And that's because, often people associate creativity with being artistic or something like that. But actually, creativity is in everything. I've got a son who's great at cooking, and his creativity shows in the way he cooks.
Yeah.
Yes. I always say, I'm creative in the way that I solve problems, in the way that I look at life. Yes. So creativity comes in lots of different ways. Although in that retreat, we have included as well kind of bits of arts and crafts and things to kind of bring that side out of people, because actually when people down to it, it's like with dancing, they kind of realize that, oh, they can do things that they didn't think they could, and they're really enjoying it. And I think what I've found in creativity and art, for example, like painting is a really big thing for me, just that stroke
Mm.
is really soothing and very therapeutic, and it allows again you to just switch everything off. You're just focused in the moment. You're just doing something that allows you to really be present. So that's a big part of that, reconnecting to the present, to the joy, to the self through different, creative kind of activities, whether it is, craft arts, dance, movement, whatever. That's one part. And then the other part is the growth. It's the learning. So we're bringing in human design because that was for me a homecoming. It was like, oh, somebody had said, actually, all my whole life, I felt like there was something wrong with me. People kept telling me that whatever I thought was right couldn't be right.
Yeah.
And then I read my personal human design and went, oh, you see, all these things that I've been saying on me are actually me. So that's a really big realization. And I remember doing a human design workshop with Maddie and her lovely women's circles a few months back. And one woman at the end said to me, for me, the difference this has made is that I always think I'm not really good enough, that there's something wrong with me, that I'm not really up to scratch. And she said, when I looked at my human design and all my traits, and she said, I thought, yeah, actually, I am that. And yes, I do that. And yes, this is me. And from looking at this person saw themselves in a new light. And she'd written at the front of her page, like her booklet, I am okay. And it may not sound like a big thing, but it was a massive thing for her to
Yeah.
suddenly realize that actually there is so much good about her.
Mm.
So that's why, we bring in human design, we bring in, parts work, because that's been a really big part of my journey, which complements really beautifully human design, and also nonviolent communication, which is all about how you connect and communicate with yourself and with other people. So lots of different tools to really give people that kind of way to empower themselves, to reconnect with themselves.
Just going back into human design, for people who have never come across human design, they must have been living under a rock, but there will be lots of people
There will be.
never heard of human design. Could you explain a little bit about human design, or just give an overview of what comes into that and what that's all about?
Yeah, what it really is for me, I think of it as a map to yourself.
Okay.
So it's basically showing you how your energy is best put to use. So for example, for some people, like working 9 to 5 is actually the right thing to do. Yeah, it works well for them and they need to use up all their energy before they go to bed and then they'll get a really good night's sleep.
Yeah.
For some people like me, actually, efficiency is everything because our energy is designed so that, we actually do um, more in less time. Yes. So we find a way to do what other people do in 8 hours, we'll do it in 4. So
Yeah.
that kind of like we had to bring something different to the planet as well. And that's what human design also shows you. It's that each person has a different role to play. So it helps you to step into that role, to know how to engage with other people in a way that works best. And it kind of also shows you kind of, your personality, some personality traits. So it helps you to see, and it can show you what you would look if you were like really at your best, if you were totally in alignment and in your true self, but also what that same thing looks like in the shadows. So if you are still in that place of struggle and learning, it shows you the struggle and where you could be. So, and that's where then the parts work come in, because the parts work allows you to go from that place of shadow to that place of full potential.
Amazing. Sounds amazing. So when is this retreat?
So this retreat is on the 4th of May. It's residential, 5 nights, and lots of things packed in. Also things like like more spiritual work, like shamanic things, and Reiki, and because also variety is really important, because I think that everybody needs different things and responds and resonates with different things. So we've kind of put in a lot of different things to sort of allow people to experience a range so that they can find what fits for them, what works for them as well. So yeah, it's from the 4th to the 9th of May. It is in Worcester, in my Airbnb property. And, we're really excited really to share that with people.
And we'll share all the details of that
Yes,
with this post. So what's next then? So we've talked about Dancing with Live. We've talked about how you came from sort of hosting into the Dancing with Live, into the retreat. What's next? What's the big project beyond that?
The big project is creating a community, really, or bringing together a community of people who are exactly the people I've described. So the people either who really want to live life from a place of joy, of passion, of purpose and heart, people who really love to learn and grow, and to help other people to learn and grow. And so the idea of that is, to have a place, a location where we are offering a lot of different experiences that allow people to come in and, through those experiences, discover new things, discover parts of themselves, make connection with other like-minded people, with people who maybe share their interests, share their passion, so that, those people who dream of traveling but don't have anybody to travel with can find the person that will go traveling with them, or the person that will go and try something with them that they've always wanted to try, but they don't want to try on their own. And it's about support. It's about, for me, I see my role as really being that person who knows all the people in that community and knows them, on a fairly deep level, because I'm all about deep and meaningful connections, and can point them to the best person or the best thing, or for them, help them work out what is right for them. And the idea with that is to create it in such a way that it will be an alternative educational setting for a lot of children and teens who are currently out of the school system, probably those young people who are lost often, who they're often people with, great academic potential, but they've come out of school because school wasn't the right environment for them, because they need something that is tailored to their way of learning, to their way of experiencing life, and to kind of, something that allows them to grow in a way that feels good for them. So something that allows them to design their own path, to design their own way of growing and learning. So that's the idea really behind the big vision.
Community hub, like I don't want to use the word alternative, but an alternative community hub where people can access and resource and be signposted in a held, supported environment.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's got to include a lot of holistic things, because actually what I'm seeing as well is that a lot of young people, especially the teens, they are actually really interested in all of those alternative kind of, therapies, holistic things that in the past would have been looked at and thought, oh, this is a bit strange. Yes.
Yeah, a bit woo-woo.
Yes, yeah. The young people are actually really interested. And for me, from what I've learned being, a teacher and, working with a lot of children and teens who have emotional and behavioral issues, is that really they need to be taught life skills. And those life skills for me start with something like nonviolent communication, with being in touch with your body, with understanding your intuition and what it's trying to tell you. So it's really providing an environment that helps them to learn that from the word go. Before you're even teaching them how to read and write and all of this, it's like teaching them to be in touch with themselves and stay in touch with themselves. That's the first part. So there's got to be a lot of activities and experiences and people there who allow that to happen.
Sounds absolutely fascinating and very exciting. So we'll share all of your details so that people can get in contact with you if they're interested in getting involved in the Dancing with Life for the retreat, or as time goes on and the project unfolds, if they're interested in sort of this community that you are building. But as I do with all of my Get a Life Moment interviews, I ask all of my guests, and I always spring it on them. I don't actually ask them up front. I always ask them, what's your top tip for life?
It is to see the gift in the struggle. That's what it is for me. It's to flow and to trust when you are in that point of struggle, of stuckness, which I get into quite often, is to be able to take that step back and say, okay, what is this teaching me? What can I learn from this? And be excited, because it's bringing something really special. It's that chance to grow and to step into something much better. So, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And we couldn't end it on a better top tip for life. Thank you very much for joining me today, Sandra.
Thank you.